Hello everyone, I am so happy to see you. According to YouTube Analytics, over 70% of you guys are not subscribed to the channel. If you guys want Pugsley to eat this month, I suggest you do so. Enjoy the video guys, I'll love you guys forever and always. Hello everyone, and welcome to the long-awaited Gnar matchup tier list. So today I'll be ranking all of Gnar's matchups in this tier list. I'm not going to do all the champions, I'm just going to do all the champions that I mainly face in the top lane. And before we get started, I just want to give a shout out to Mozo5 for creating this. It's public on tiermaker.com, so if you want to make your own, you can go to tiermaker and look for this tier list yourself. Anyways, let's get right into the Gnar matchup tier list. So I just recently got Diamond, so I wanted to get a lot of experience before making this tier list, and now that I have at least some experience now, I can rank these properly, I feel like. So first is Aatrox. I would say Aatrox is a pretty good matchup. I don't want to say it's amazing because Aatrox did get buffs recently, and it can be a little bit cheesy. But for the most part, it's really good. I would say it's at the top of good, like it's almost amazing, but it's really, really good. As long as you can get the push, this matchup is really, really good. He can't really do much. All you have to watch out is getting hit by his Qs, and your E is a pretty good escape for his W. Also for this tier list, I'm not going to describe every single detail. I'm just going to be going through what I think is a good matchup and not a good matchup. But if you guys have any questions, please leave them down below. I'll try to answer them all. Next is Akali. I would say Akali's okay. It isn't as bad as it used to be whenever Akali was broken, but now it's bearable. It's just kind of annoying whenever she gets level 6, but I think for the most part it's pretty playable. It isn't the worst matchup. Akshan, I don't really like this matchup that much. I'm gonna say it's bad, but after level 6 it is a little bit easier, but it's still very, very annoying. He outranges you early and it's just basically a better version of you until you're like at least level 6, but sometimes even later you need to be a higher level to take on Akshan, in my opinion. Next is Camille. Camille isn't as bad as it used to be. I'm still gonna say it's a bad matchup because, well no, I'm gonna say it's hardest. I don't really like Camille. Her dash is annoying, her passive shield's annoying, her ult is annoying. The fact that she gets to build Divine is annoying. I was going to say it's hardest, but it is playable early, but after that it's pretty difficult. I feel like she can easily win the 1v1 if she's smart. Cass, I don't really go against Cass that much. I'm just going to say it's bad because it's just annoying, honestly. I probably shouldn't have Cass in this tier list, but I'll just say it's bad. I don't really go against Cass that much. I'm actually going to put it up here because I don't go against Cass that much, but just pretend that it's bad. That's what I say. Cho'Gath, I'm gonna say this is easiest. I think Cho'Gath is pretty easy. Cho'Gath can't really do much. His only chance really is hitting his Q on you, but since you're ranged, he can't really do much. And even later, he can't do much because of your W, so it's really, really good. And also, you get to take Fleet Footwork and you get to build Cleaver, so Cho'Gath can't really do much against that. Darius. See, here's the thing, Darius early, it's pretty hard, but later levels, it's better. I'm just gonna say it is even because I think you technically counter Darius in the later levels because your range later it just outranges his E. So I'm gonna say it's even / okay, but if we're going early game, I'm gonna say it's probably one of the hardest. If we're going later game, I'm gonna say good, amazing. But overall, I'm gonna put even. Dr. Mundo, I'm gonna put amazing. I'm not gonna say it's the easiest. I think it's a little bit more difficult than Cho'Gath because of his ult. He has a lot of healing, but I still think it's a pretty good matchup. All you have to do is dodge his Qs, and you can play around your minion wave to do that pretty easily. Fiora isn't as bad as it used to be. I'm gonna say it's good. I'll say it's right there next to Aatrox. It's not that bad. I wouldn't say it's amazing because she can still build Divine and her ult is still pretty good, and her Prairie as well. That's the one main thing, you have to dodge her W. Like, you can't use your stun. If she managed to hit you with that, then you're pretty much dead, but that's the main thing. All you have to do is step up and trade, use your fleet properly, try to hit your boomerang. It's pretty good. Gangplank, I'm gonna say this is even. I sometimes have trouble against Gangplank. What I recommend is building Steel Caps and Randuins against this champ, but I'll just say it's even/good. Another tip I can give is going second win D-Shield. It's actually pretty good early game against Gangplank, but I don't know, I just think it's one of those matchups where you have to hit all your abilities. If you don't hit all your abilities, I feel like you're kind of screwed. So that's why I say it's just okay. I don't think it's as good as the other matchups, but it isn't as bad as the others. Garen, I'm gonna say it's easiest. However, lately Garen has been really cheesy because he always takes Phase Rush, Ghost. It's very annoying, but for the most part, it's pretty easy. Oh, Gnar's here. Okay, well technically it's even/okay because if you're going against the same champion, then it should just be even. So yeah, I don't know. I probably shouldn't have Gnar here, but oh well. Gragas. Gragas is kind of sleeper OP right now. I'm gonna say this matchup is bad for now. I have so much trouble against Gragas. I feel like he does too much damage but is also too tanky, so it's almost like you have to play perfect against this champ. And it's hard to push up because of his ult. He can ult you under tower, kind of like we can ult people under our tower whenever they're pushing against us, so yeah, it's very difficult. Graves, I hate this matchup. I'm gonna say hardest. His armor is so annoying how much armor he has, and he also takes fleet and he has more range than us. I think we outrange him later, but it's still very annoying. He has too much sustain as well. Gwen, I'm gonna say Gwen is even. The only thing that is annoying is her like little shield thing where you can't really attack her. Other than that, I would say it's pretty even. However, later game Gwen is very powerful, so early game you have to take advantage of her. I'm gonna say Heimerdinger is good. I don't go against the champ enough to rank it higher, but I think it's good. Second win D-Shield is pretty good, and then level 6 you should just be able to almost one-shot him, so it's pretty good. Illaoi, so I have trouble against this champ, but I'm just gonna say it's I'm gonna say it's bad. I don't really like it. Would I say it's more nah, I'm gonna put it like right under Darius. I think this is fair. The lower it goes, by the way, it's more like towards bad hardest, so. And these are the easier ones at the top. I think I'll rank it like this. I don't know, is Darius or Illaoi more difficult? I mean, like right now, currently, Illaoi is kind of meta for like solo queue. Maybe not for pro play, but solo queue, she's really good. All she has to do is hit her E, and then yeah, you cannot win that trade. And then even if she doesn't hit the E, she has such low cooldowns, and she can build Frostfire, which is very good against Gnar. So I don't know, maybe I'll change this later. Irelia, definitely counter pick. I hate this champion. I don't permaban it. I used to, but basically everything counters you. Her E is very annoying. She has unlimited gap closers as long as she has minions, which in top lane you always do. And then you can't really do any damage to her because of her W. And then her ult is just, yeah, everything counters Gnar. That's why I usually play around with jungle whenever I go against Irelia. I can't really win 1v1. Jax, this is my permaban. I'm not gonna say it's a counter pick. This is just my personal like least favorite matchup. I'm honestly gonna say I'm just gonna say it's bad. I'm gonna say it's hardest. I'm not gonna say it's counter pick because there are good Gnar players that can actually take advantage of Jax, but in my opinion, it's just gonna be hardest, top of hardest. You know, since I'm permaban, I have to put in the counter pick, right? But other Gnar players, this is probably like up here with good or amazing because they know how to play against Jax. I don't know how to play against Jax. I'm very sorry, guys. I hate this champ. His stupid E. He has too many leaps. His Q, he can hop on wards. His ult gives him too much damage. It's just annoying. And he can build Divine, which counters Gnar, so I don't like it. Jace, I'm gonna say Jace is even. Honestly, right in the middle, I would say. Basically, you have to hit everything against Jace if you're going all in with Mega Gnar. And Mini Gnar, you just hit your Qs. It's basically a dodging game. If you can hit your Q, you win. But if he hits his Q, you probably lose, so it's pretty even, I would say. Kayle, I'm gonna say this is one of the easiest matchups. Kayle is pretty easy for Gnar. All you have to do is push, and if you take the Mosh, you can pretty much get all the plates, and then in Mega Gnar, you can easily die for under tower. In Mini Gnar, all you have to do is poke with Q. If you hit your Q, you can easily get a W proc. Very, very easy matchup. Of course, later it's more difficult, but early game, if you can control it, it's pretty good. Kennen, I don't really like Kennen. It's not too bad right now. I'm gonna say it's good. It's not too horrible. I don't play against it enough though, but from my experiences, maybe I'm not going against good Kennen players, but from my experience, it's pretty easy, level 6. But if you don't build any MR, it can be pretty difficult. But from my experience, it's at least a good matchup. Early game, it's annoying though. Kled, I hate Kled. I'm gonna say it's probably, I never have success against Kled really. I'm gonna say it's bad. Like, Kled isn't meta right now. If Kled was meta, I'd definitely put it hardest, but I'll just put Kled at bad. I don't know the best way to play against the champ. His passive is very, very, very annoying. But later game, he isn't as useful, so I'll just say it's bad. Lilia, I hate whenever Lilia is meta top lane. I'm gonna say it is bad. Your only chance really is to win early. I feel like if she gets mid-late game, Liandry's is so powerful against Gnar. So, and she has so much movement speed. That's one thing that counters Gnar. If they have more movement speed, I feel like you're kind of doomed because you only have one chance to hit your abilities, and if you don't do that, you're pretty much dead, especially in Mega Gnar. So I'm gonna say bad, just because of Lilia's kit. Malphite used to be good, but now that he's meta, it's so annoying. I'm still gonna say it is. I'm just gonna say it's even. It's probably worse, but I'm still able to do good against Malphite. But I wouldn't be mad if some people put it in bad, but I'm just gonna put it in even for now. Very annoying though, because he just Q spams you, and since you have a low HP stat, it is pretty annoying. Maokai, I do not like Maokai. I'm gonna say, you know what? I'm gonna put Malphite and Maokai up here. It might be controversial take, but I don't really like the matchups. They're pretty bad. Also, I'm kind of re-questioning this Darius pick. Maybe Darius is harder than I think. I don't know. I'll just put Darius right here still. Mordekaiser, I'm going to say Mordekaiser good matchup. Mordekaiser isn't too difficult. You just have to watch out for his R. If you're a Mega Gnar, you can just R him away whenever he Rs you, so it's pretty good. It's basically like you just have to dodge his abilities and you pretty much win. Nasus, I think this is easiest matchup, easily. All you have to do against this champ, take Phase Rush. You can take Ghost if you want to, or Flash TP is fine. And then rush Swifties, he cannot do a single thing to you. All you have to do is push in the wave, and then you get a lead by getting Demolish and Plates. Yeah, it's pretty easy. Neeko, I'm gonna say, I don't really like the Neeko matchup. I don't go against it much, but whenever I do, it's so annoying. She outranges you, and she does a good amount of mixed damage if she goes like different builds. And now with the new rework, she's kinda really good. Olaf, I'm gonna say this is one of the hardest. You wouldn't think Olaf would be hard, but ever since he got changed like a couple of months ago, he's been super good. His Q is on such a low cooldown. It slows you, does so much damage. His W gives a really good shield. He has lifesteal. And his R completely counters Mega Gnar, so it's very hard. So you pretty much always have to respect him at all times. So it's very hard to lane against Olaf. Ornn, I'm honestly gonna say this is hardest. I hate this matchup. Especially right now, he has like a 52-53% win rate, I'm pretty sure. And the thing is, he scales into the late game, so it's so difficult to win against this champ. Like, even if you build Cleaver, it feels like you do no damage to him. So Ornn is definitely difficult. Like, you have to rush like boots, but if you do that, you don't have any damage, but you have to rush boots, because if not, then you can't really dodge his abilities that well. So yeah, it's very difficult. Pantheon, I'm honestly gonna say that this is a bad matchup. I don't really like it. He does too much damage, and I feel like he can always have control of lane if he has PTA and Ignite. Your only chance is if he messes up, and Mega Gnar it is a little bit easier, but I feel like if it's a good Pantheon player, they can control early game pretty well. And he can roam so much better than you. I'm also going to say Poppy's a bad matchup. Her W pretty much completely counters your hop. And honestly has a ton of damage and is tanky. Her passive shield is really good.
so it's hard to do a lot of damage to her, and she can like flex like builds like Divine or Tank, and her R is also very, very useful. So I'll probably say it's like almost hardest, but I'll put it at the bottom of bad. Quinn, I'm gonna say is even / okay. You do have to respect her early, but I feel like level 6, whenever you're Mega Gnar, it's easier. If you can get an all-in combo on her, she can't really do much, as long as you hit your abilities, that is. I'm gonna say what is Rammus? I don't go against Rammus top that much, but it is annoying whenever I do go it. I'm just gonna say it is, I wanna say it's good. All you have to do is not auto him and his W, and then you're pretty much fine, but it can be very, very cheesy. But since he's melee, it should be a little bit easier. Renekton is good, but this champ is annoying. It's the same thing with Pantheon, but honestly I changed my mind. I think Renekton is bottom of okay / even. Early game, this champion is, it's pretty hard, but as the game goes on, it goes up in the tiers, I think. So I think overall I'm just gonna put it even okay. It's very similar to Pantheon, where he can just take PTA and Ignite. He builds Bork. It's very good against Gnar. But later on, he does fall off, but in lane, it's kind of bad. It's kind of annoying, but if he does mess up once, you can pretty much kill him, so that's why I put it at even / bad. Rengar, I'm gonna say this is hardest low-key. It's so annoying, his dashes. You have to stay away from the bushes at all time, you have to respect him. He out-trades you easily, heals so much, has so much sustain. Definitely one of the harder matchups for Gnar. Riven, okay, so Riven is technically a good matchup for Gnar, but I can never get it down. So, since this is my opinion, I'm gonna say it's hardest. I hate going against this champ. I feel like she has so many dashes, has so much damage, and is pretty tanky as well. Her build can be very, very good. She can sustain very, very well with Gore Drinker. I think it's very, very difficult in my opinion, but other players have more success against Riven, so I would not be surprised if other players put like Riven at amazing or good or even easiest, but for me it's hardest. Rumble, I'm gonna say it's even. You can't really do much if the Rumble is good, I feel like, if they hold their, I don't know what it's called, but their fire, and they just spray you with their fire. Since you have a low MR stat, it is pretty difficult, but I would say it's pretty even because you can still win. You can still win trades in Mega Gnar. Ryze, I actually haven't went against a Ryze top in a while, but I would say it's amazing. I never really have that much trouble against Ryze, and luckily you can build items like Mercs and Witsend, maybe even Force of Nature against this champ. But Ryze is more of a mid pick, so I don't know, maybe it shouldn't be here. Sejuani, honestly I don't like this matchup. I want to say it's bad. Sejuani top is very, very cheesy because she can take Ignite, and then she just is very tanky but also does like good damage against you. A lot of these champs do good damage against you even if they're tanks because of your low HP stat early, so, and she's very, very safe to play. Her like she has a dash, so yeah. It can be very hard to kill sometimes early. Set, I'm gonna say Set is good. Early game, it can be cheesy, but Set can be a pretty good matchup. You just have to watch out for his E, I believe, and then you're good. Just save his Q whenever your Q whenever he's coming at you, and as long as he can't get on top of you, it's pretty good. Shin, I'm gonna say it is amazing. I don't think it's the easiest because his taunt, he can outplay with taunt, and not being able to attack him is pretty annoying, and then his ult is also pretty good to help his team, so. But other than that, I'll say it's a pretty amazing matchup because I feel like you can always get the push on Shin. Singed, I'm also gonna say it's amazing. I'm not gonna put it in easiest because I feel like if the Singed player is good, they'll just proxy you, so you can't really interact with Singed that way. But it's still a pretty good matchup whenever you can like interact with him. I feel like you always win in Mini and Mega Gnar, as long as you hit your abilities, of course. Sion, if the Sion player is good, it can be annoying, but for the most part, I was gonna say it's even / okay. You technically can counter Sion with your W, but the problem is he's always consistently scaling, so he's gonna have so much health, so even building Cleaver, it may not do enough, but I still think you have some outplay potential So I think overall it's even / okay. Swain, I'm gonna say it's even / okay. I don't really play against Swain that much, but what I remember is that as long as you dodge his stun, it's very playable. So if you can dodge his stun and you hit your abilities, this matchup is pretty okay. Sylas, overall, if we're talking drafts, Sylas is a good pick if the Sylas is mid lane because he can take your ult. But I think matchup wise, I think Sylas is a good matchup. Sylas is forced to trade health to get minions, and you can always play around your wave so he can't dash onto you and chain onto you. As long as you're playing around minions, you can't really do that. So I feel like you can always get the push and you can always poke him down. The only worry is him getting your R and one-shotting you, but as long as you have Hop or Crunch, you can keep your distance. I actually think it's... I used to hate the Sylas matchup, but over time learning, I think it's a good matchup. But if the Sylas is mid lane, it's a better pick because Sylas can use your ult more effectively in mid-late game than you can because 1, he doesn't have to be a Mega Gnar, he's just always Sylas, and 2, he has dashes and then a chain. So yeah, it's pretty easy. It's easier for him to utilize in my opinion. Tahm Kench, good old Thomas. I'm gonna say it's good. I haven't went against Tahm Kench in a while, but I'm gonna say it's good because you can, it's similar to Mundo, you can play around minions and not get hit by his tongue. The one annoying thing is that he can eat you, but overall I would say it's a good matchup, but I could see it being like even. Teemo, I'm gonna say it's amazing. I've been having a lot of success against Teemo lately. All you have to really do, play safe early and then hit your Qs. Mega Gnar, you win pretty much most of the time. You just have to watch out for shroom placement. If you can spot where he places shrooms most of the time, you're pretty well off. And you don't really need to auto him in Mega Gnar because of his blind. You just have to hit your abilities, but yeah, pretty amazing matchup in my opinion. I think Trundle is also an amazing matchup. Like similar to Nasus, all you have to do is take Phase Rush, Ghosts, Swifties, and he can't do anything to you. But I did think it's a little bit more cheesy than Nasus though, especially with his ult, so that's why it's a tier below, but I still think it's a really good matchup. Tryndamere is very annoying, but I'm gonna say it's good. It's very RNG early if he, it honestly depends on their playstyle, but it's very RNG, but if you can make it where you build Played Steel Caps and Randuins, you're well off. You can easily 1v1 him. So I'm gonna say it's good. Udyr, I'm also gonna say this matchup's amazing. It is very annoying though, because it seems like you do no damage to him, but I think it's a pretty good matchup. All you have to do is at least keep a little bit of distance, but later on it's very good. Urgot, I'm gonna say it's even. There's a lot of times where the Urgot can just play safe and wait for jungler and kill you with Gnar, while he just flash on you whenever jungler's there. This is like one of the most even matchups actually. So I'm gonna put it more in the middle. However, I think whenever it gets to mid game, it's better for Gnar, but as far as laning phase, it's pretty even in my opinion. Vayne, it's pretty impossible early. I'm gonna say it's bad, only because I feel like if the Vayne is good, she can control most of the game. But level 6, it is easier against Vayne whenever you have your ult. Whenever she ults, she turns invisible, so if you miss one ability in Mega Gnar whenever she ults, you're pretty much dead. So that's why I put it in bad. I think Vladimir is weird. I don't go against the champ much, but whenever I do, it's very annoying. I'm just gonna say it's even. I would say if you can hit most of your abilities, you're fine against this champ, and you use fleet properly. Mega Gnar is really good against this champ. I don't know, I feel like it's okay. Volibear, I'm gonna say it is amazing. Volibear can be pretty cheesy early, especially if he has press the attack ignite, but other than that, it's a pretty amazing matchup. You can pretty much cut him out pretty well. Warwick, this champ's so cheesy, but it's technically good, so I just put it here. You have to be very careful because he can just, especially if he takes barrier, he just heal all the damage that you deal to him, but I feel like eventually there's a point where you can just outrange Warwick. I wouldn't be mad if it's at even / okay, but I'm just gonna say it's good. If it's meta though, I'm definitely gonna say it's even / okay or bad, but luckily it's not meta right now. Wukong, I'm gonna say this matchup is bad. I don't really like this matchup. I don't like that he turns Invis and then also has a gap closer with that. And then once he gets level 6, he can basically one-shot you if you're in Mininar, so you have to be very, very careful. Yasuo, I really hate this matchup. I'm also gonna say it's a bad matchup. Again, it's another gap closer champ with, especially if there's minions around. You can just EU. Honestly, I'm gonna say it's hardest. I hate this champ. His Q is such a low cooldown. His win wall counters your Mininar completely. Your only chance really is Mega Gnar, but even then, if he's smart, he just stays back, so it's very difficult. I think Yone's definitely easier matchup. I'm gonna say it's good. I feel like you have the advantage against Yone. Yone is a lot more easier, I feel like, than Yasuo, because you can actually dodge his abilities. If Yasuo's smart, he can just save his Q and then dash onto you and then just tornado you with EQ. Yone's a little bit of a different story. You actually have to hit your abilities, so that's why I think it's better than Yasuo. And I forgot what it's called, but it's basically the dash thing that makes him go forward, but it sends him back. That's pretty bad for him, I say sometimes. It makes it like very easy for you to hit your abilities in Mega Gnar whenever that happens. So yeah, I'm gonna say it's a good matchup. Yorick is very annoying. I'm gonna say it's a bad matchup because his wall thing basically counters you. Luckily we have E, so like it offsets, but whenever you don't have E, it's very hard to play. So, and it's just annoying overall, so I'll just say it's bad. Oh, final two, here we go. Zac is honestly so cheesy. I'm just gonna say it's even/okay. If the Zac player is good, it's probably bad, but I'm just gonna say it's even/okay. His passive is annoying. He can play pretty safe if he wants to, but it's another situation with like Urgot. I feel like he's one of those champs that can play safe and wait for a gank to set up. Top lane Zac is very cheesy and annoying. And K'Sante, I'm gonna say K'Sante is pretty good matchup. I could even argue putting him into amazing. Only thing you have to watch out for K'Sante is his ult and his dashes or his knockup. But you can easily keep your distance against K'Sante. That's the one good thing about the matchup. It's hard for him to actually hit his knockup on you. And luckily we outrange that, so that's pretty good for Gnar, I feel like. But his ult is pretty cheesy because he's still very tanky and does a lot of damage, so yeah. Alright, I think this is my tier list. Maybe there's some controversial things on here. Maybe like Darius, maybe Darius should be higher, but just if you hate Darius, just imagine it just up here. But I think for the most part, Gnar is pretty good against Darius, or it's at least even. Early game it can be difficult. Alright, yeah, I'm happy with this. I think I'm happy with this. Please let me know down below what you would change, but this is my opinion, so, and this is based on my experience, so yeah. Of course, this would change patch by patch, but because the meta changes pretty much every patch, let's be honest. Like champs get buffed and nerfed every patch, so this is on the current patch that we're on right now, which I think is like 13.9 right before the item rework, or 13.10 with the item rework. So this is my season 13 Gnar matchup tier list. I'll update this again whenever there's a lot of changes, but I'm pretty happy with this list. Anyways guys, I hope you enjoyed the video, and I love you guys forever and always. Bye bye.